Welcome back to this week's Buyer Beware. Less and less properties are being available, so you need to be careful of what you buy. There are several types of reports to get before you buy a property, including a pest and building inspection. But there are some inspections that are not available or carried out on your potential new home. Signs of drug activity in your newly renovated property can be overlooked. The number of illegal drug labs found in NSW properties is steadily rising. As a new homeowner, you need to do your research on your potential new home, as more and more properties are being exposed to harmful toxic chemicals. Drug labs are on the increase. This particular property had been renovated to a very good quality. However, the property owners have a responsibility to ensure their property is safe to sell and for any future occupants. So as a new homeowner, you need to find out if the correct cleanup has been undertaken and if all the contaminated walls, doors, and floors are removed or decontaminated. The type of property should be considered potentially unfit for human habitation until such time as appropriate investigation can determine the presence or absence of contamination, and all relevant paperwork should be supplied by the homeowner to state it is now safe. This particular property also had asbestos walls in 80% of the property and would require a special purpose cleanup. Let's take a closer look at similar properties and potential hazards that may be left behind.
They are the scourge of the suburbs.
The labs are toxic time bombs. They can literally explode.
What you're watching is the door-to-door war police are fighting, taking on the drug barons who are turning peaceful suburbs into drug havens. These police know this is anything but a normal family home. These latest raids exposing the sinister secrets hiding in our suburbs, quiet family neighbourhoods that harbour deadly drug labs and cannabis crops.
I would suggest there'd be a lot many more that we haven't uncovered that are in the suburbs.
The number of drug labs being raided by police is exploding. That's if they don't explode themselves. Queensland Police Union President Ian Levers.
We saw one recently in a quiet suburban street which blew the roof off a house.
It's not only keeping police busy. Jenny Boymel's Melbourne-based company Jenna Dyko has been set up specifically to train people how to clean up the toxic mess left by drug labs.
A lot of the danger is in the vapours in the air and the vapours that have penetrated into all the surfaces, and they're not necessarily visible.
Some cleanups can take months and cost upwards of $70,000.
Chemicals like ammonia, benzene, acetone are very commonly used through the cooking process, and the issue is they all become a chemical cocktail and react with each other and produce chemicals and vapours that don't naturally occur in society.
Unbelievable. All the neighbours here can't believe that this has happened.
You've got false walls. Usually you've got a lot of holes, a few holes there where they run their watering systems through.
Sophisticated setups, grow houses.
Most of the rooms been reworked. You've got an extremely good ventilation system here.
Meth labs.
You're under arrest.
Drug lords creating kingdoms, living by their rules, leaving honest Aussies to foot the bill.
You're probably looking at least $30,000, $35,000 in damage.
And you could be living right next door to a toxic time bomb, a homemade irrigation system.
Yeah, look, you can see with all the hoses here that this is the main part of their irrigation. All these hoses go to feed all the plants in various rooms. The fact that mould and mouldy cannabis, which is carcinogenic, is not good.
And sneaky wiring to avoid power bills.
They certainly have done a lot of their own renovation, for want of a better word. What's going on here?
Laura, this is very typical of a hydro setup. You've got the mains power coming in from the bottom, which has been cut. Normally it travels straight through to the meter, but at this cut point they bypass the power, run their own electrical switching, etc. To power the amount of energy that's required for the lighting.
And we're in a relatively quiet suburb. It's family land. Is that the kind of profile of these houses?
It is. It's usually in a court, somewhere that's obscure, whether there's trees in the front or just limits their exposure.
It was a very, very quiet house.
Trevor lives next door to the drug den. He says as the months went by, he started picking up odd behaviour from his new neighbours.
But just a bit before Christmas, before the blinds never got lifted, and Then after Christmas, the garbage bins weren't going in.
That's definitely a secret no new homeowner would want. A pest and building inspection will help identify any potential hazards. And fortunately, Sydney Pest and Building Inspections can test for any suspected high-risk properties. Now, these guys will examine all the major systems and structural elements during the pre-purchase stage. This includes the condition at the time of the inspection of the property's landscaping, heating and air conditioning systems, electrical systems, the plumbing, roof, foundation, insulation, walls, doors, windows, and all visible structure. Before making one of the biggest investments in life, which is buying a home, contact Sydney Pest and Building Inspections. We'll have more on our upcoming inspection news segment next week here on Sydney Home Inspection Channel. Buyer beware.